welcome everyone to What's Cooking in Our House. I'm Connie Hampton.
And I'm Dottie Phelps, and I'd like to welcome you to my home, and especially to my kitchen. And Connie and I are going to cook up some really good recipes today. We're going to be doing juicy baked apples, and it's good.
And it's going to be partially healthy because it's got fruit in it.
It's got fruit in it.
But again, we can't eat the whole thing because there's a
No.
little bit of sugar in it.
There's sugar and a little bit of butter.
Right.
So, but anyway, fruit's good for you.
Sure.
So we're going to say it's halfway healthy for you.
There you go. And Dottie and I were talking before we went on camera about that we were surprised that this recipe didn't have any cinnamon in it.
Yeah, usually when you have apples or you make apple pie or something, you put cinnamon in it, but this doesn't call for any. So
while you're working on the apples with your handy-dandy knife, let me read the ingredients to our viewers. We're going to be using 8 medium Granny Smith apples, and another thing that we talk about were the different kinds of apples, lots of different kinds, and you used to use,
I used to, before I had to stop eating so much salt, I liked the Granny Smith apples and just put salt on them and eat them with salt on them.
For snack.
For snack, yeah. But I don't do that anymore because I needed to cut back on my salt intake. So I just don't do that anymore.
Well, and we also said that Granny Smith is a good apple to have with like a sweet dip.
Yes, if you've got like a caramel dip or something that's kind of sweet, the Granny Smith apples are really good because they're a little bit tart, and you got that sweet, and it just kind of balances everything out.
Right. We had the preacher used an apple yesterday for children's church, and he tried to give this apple to this little girl, and she wouldn't take it. And he said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "I don't like that kind."
Oh.
And he thought that she was saying that she didn't want it because it wasn't peeled.
Yeah.
And she said, "Well, yes." And he said, "You don't peel your apples?" And she said, "No, my mom does." So we're all a little spoiled, but there are several different kinds of apples. This would not be an apple that you would probably use for a snack unless you were going to do something sweet on it.
Right.
Or something salty, maybe.
Of course, that depends on each individual taste.
Sure.
I wouldn't because they are kind of tart.
Right.
But I don't like a lot of sweet either. So probably if I was going to do just an apple, I would do a Golden Delicious or Red Delicious or Fuji or something like that.
But for an apple pie or what we're doing today, the Granny Smith is the better choice.
The better choice. I think they cook up better. Most of your apple pies will tell you to use
Granny's.
Most of your recipes will tell you to use Granny Smith apples.
So we're going to be using 8 medium Granny apple smiths, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and 2 tablespoons of water. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our sliced apples in that, and that keeps those apples from turning dark.
That's right.
And then we're going to make a topping to go on those apples, and the topping consists of 6 teaspoons of butter softened, a pinch of salt, 1 cup of grated sharp cheddar cheese, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and a half a cup of sugar. We're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees, slice the apples, and toss with the lemon juice, sugar, and water, as I said. Place those in a greased 13 by 11 inch casserole, but we're using a 13 by 9.
Yeah, you know, if you had every side dish that every recipe that you make calls for, you'd need a
big house.
A big house.
Big house.
Because it's just almost impossible to find or to have everything.
Right. But the 13 by 9 worked fine.
13 by 9 worked fine. I'm pretty close to having everything there is, but I did not have that size pan. So.
Right. To prepare the topping, we're going to cut the butter into the flour and then add the salt, sugar, and cheese. We're going to sprinkle that topping over the apples, bake for 1 hour, checking after 30 minutes to see what's going on in there, because everybody's oven works different. Some cooks faster.
Mine's not calibrated exactly right, and not everybody's is. So.
And then when you check it after those 30 minutes, if there are some dry spots, the dough appears to be dry, add you some more butter on that, which is a good thing. And you may also need to add some water if the apples look dry. So you need to really go back and check that.
Yes.
And make sure that it's cooking correctly, and if you need to make some additions.
Well, when I made this yesterday, I did add a little water. I thought, that didn't look all that juicy in there. And I thought, maybe I better go ahead because I did not want it to be dry. So I went ahead and added a little bit of water. If you want to go ahead and start slicing those,
We're not going to peel any more peeling, right?
we're not going to peel it. The recipe did not say to peel, and I even went back and dug out the
double check.
recipe where I got it.
Just slice it into this pan? Okay.
To be sure that I hadn't left something out of the recipe, and I hadn't, so...
And we want to do these kind of thin, correct?
Yeah, do them kind of thin, and they'll cook up better, so... But this is probably the hardest part of this recipe, and the most time-consuming is slicing the apples. But
you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do, and I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. You're going to love it. I could not resist. I tasted a little bit yesterday, and
when it makes your house smell good and you
Oh,
start
yeah,
salivating,
yeah.
you got to take care of business.
it's just really, it's hard not to. It's hard not to.
Well, you didn't want to poison your food, I'm sure.
No, I didn't want serving things I hadn't already tasted it. I wouldn't want to do that.
Another addition that we can talk about while we're slicing these apples is we now have an email address.
Yes.
For those of you that have access to email and want some of our recipes, you can email us at recipes@yhctv.com. Dottie will intercept that, and we will shoot you a recipe.
Send it right out to you.
Right. If you don't have email and you want a recipe, you can send a self-addressed stamped envelope to What's Cooking at Our House, P.O. Box 712, Dexter, Missouri, 63841, and we will send you that recipe. Actually, Miss Dottie, I've been looking forward to the day because we haven't been able to get together to cook.
No, we haven't. It seems like it's been a long time, and I thought, man, I hope I remember how to do all this. Because it has been a long time, because, you had been out of town, and I've been out of town, and there's just been so many things going, and I don't know if the shows have been reruns or...
I've been so busy, I don't even know that.
I haven't had time either.
But people are watching because people still stop and say, hey, what are you cooking this week?
Yes, I had someone over the weekend. I watch it all the time. So they're still watching. So hopefully we'll get these out on the air real soon, and there'll be some new recipes for them to try.
Well, and another good thing, YHCtv is now live streaming, and people that don't live in our area can watch YHCtv on their internet by going to YHCtv.com.
Nice.
So people in Arkansas, Texas, California, Florida, as long as they've got internet, they can pull us up on the internet. And YHCtv is updating their website and getting some things updated on there. They're getting some new equipment, and
how exciting!
We're just getting uptown.
That's
just
good.
getting uptown.
Well, I have a friend that lives in Florida, and I had emailed her and told her that she could get online and watch the cooking show.
Right.
She's one of my biggest fans.
All right.
So I haven't talked to her to see if she has done that yet.
Right.
Hopefully, if she hasn't, she will do that soon. And I don't know, Connie.
Is there any hiding under there?
I bet there is.
Yep, I see one right here.
There's some right there.
Okay. We're doing good.
Yeah.
We're doing good.
I probably should have laid those to the side, and that way we wouldn't have had to hunt.
Scavenger hunt.
Scavenger hunt, yeah.
That's okay.
Looking for a half an apple or a fourth of an apple. But anyway.
Now, and I always try not to put you on the spot, but this might be putting you on the spot. Could we use another fruit?
It is, I'll tell you.
Could we use another fruit in case someone doesn't like apples?
Well, I don't see why you couldn't use peaches.
Okay.
It's going to be a lot more juicy.
Right.
And you shouldn't have to add any water.
Well, we were talking about a friend earlier that had blueberries.
Yes.
I was just wondering if we could do this with blueberries, since this is blueberry season, maybe?
You know,
Would you try
really
it?
don't. Yeah, I would try it. I probably wouldn't put the cheese in it,
Oh, yeah.
but I would. Yeah.
Be a good topping, except
Yeah.
for the cheese, yeah.
But I would try it with blueberries.
As long as we don't, look. There's one.
But
We got lots of apples here, girl.
you just it is. It takes, but they cook down really well. So.
But you use the 13 by 9 and have plenty of room.
Oh yeah, I have plenty of
Recipe
room.
calls for
Yeah.
13 by
11.
13 by 9.
As well. But I had plenty of room, and but they cook down. And even like when you make an apple pie,
Yes.
you want to stack them really high because they do cook way down, and then you're going to have it sunk down. I'm going to do this one more time, Connie, to be sure that
I'm holding on so you don't flip your flopper. Think we got them.
we'll find out when we put them in there, won't we?
Put 'em in there.
Yeah. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix this lemon
Yes.
with the water. And let's see there, how much sugar?
We've got a tablespoon of sugar,
Yeah, okay. And
2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and 2 tablespoons of water. Here's your water.
okay.
Here's your sugar.
Oh, I'm going to tell you
Go ahead and put your sugar in your water.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
You've got your little mixer there to do that.
When I did this, when I made this recipe before, it's going to take about 1 lemon.
1 lemon. Well, I bought 2 just in case, so
Well,
we've got a good visual here.
Yeah, I had 2 also, but I did measure it.
Right.
It looks like I'm going to have to go fishing for some seeds there.
I'll get a spoon.
But yeah, it's going to take 1 lemon, and that'll be enough. And you can, as Connie said a while ago, this keeps your fruit from turning dark.
Right.
This lemon juice does, and you can also use orange juice.
Oh, I think we used that in the past once.
Right. It's the acidity, yeah. And that's what keeps it from turning dark. You about to get them all?
I think that's it.
We'll find out.
Give me some more. There's one little baby right there.
We'll find out.
Okay.
When I pour it in, I'll try to catch anything that's left. I see another one in there.
That's a good little gadget there. I don't
Oh,
know if
yeah.
our friends have seen that before. Called what, a reamer?
A reamer.
A reamer.
And it is absolutely wonderful for juicing these lemons.
This is
That's-
going
it's like going
fishing
fishing.
for a squirming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, are
You're
we
gonna keep
stirred
your
up?
eyeballs.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
going.
know if you want to use that to stir it with,
Yeah.
because it
Yeah, I
doesn't take
see-
long for them to start turning.
I see one in there.
Okay.
I see 2 in there.
Okay.
Here, just let me do this, Connie.
Aha. A woman on a mission. You're going to be your own little sifter. Strainer.
Yeah.
Now, do I need to kind of
Yeah,
flip those
yeah,
up?
Yeah.
Get back
Yeah,
in there,
we'll
buddy.
have to,
So it gets down,
yeah. You want to try to get as many of them
covered.
covered as you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're jumping out.
So jumping out, while you're doing that, I'm gonna wash my hands and so I can get the rest of, we can finish the topping.
Okay.
Okay?
Be sure and get them all covered here. They're going to be sitting for a while we make our topping.
Right.
And make sure we shift and here. I get together about, well, it's been a while this time, but about once a month, and do our cooking shows, and we have a lot of fun together as friends, and I learn a lot. I think Dottie probably knows most of it. But,
Well, I learn something just about every time I do anything, whether it be cooking or, that's,
We've been doing
And
this
that's a good
for
4 years.
4 years. My gosh. Okay, let's put those
Okay,
there.
if you'll hand me that bowl there, I'm
There you
going to
go.
trade places with you again so they can see what I'm doing here.
Here's our flour.
And we're going to, what's those measurements of the flour again?
Okay, we've got 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and we're going to cut the butter into the flour.
Right.
And then we're going to add a pinch of salt, and we're going to also add our sugar.
Then we'll add the sugar, yeah.
And then we also have our cheese.
Yeah. This is, like I said, this goes together real easy.
And if someone doesn't have one of those gadgets, what do we do?
Well, you can cut it in with a knife.
Knife and fork?
No, 2 knives.
2 knives, that's right.
2 knives. Or you can also just take your hand and work it in like so.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can do that. I don't do that very often, but
But when you get the toys, you don't have to.
well, that's true.
So you're going to work that in until it gets kind of...
Kind of like a course meal,
Uh-huh.
and it's just kind of like you do when you do your pie crust.
No, I don't know how you do when
You
do
don't do
it.
you don't do the real deal, do
Is
you?
that the real deal?
Well,
I'm a cheater.
that's okay. That's all right. Anymore, they have some really pretty good ones out there
Yes.
that you don't have to do that. So, but you can see here how coarse that is.
Right.
That's kind of coarse, and that's what you're looking for. But you want it's kind of like it's a crumb topping. Is what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, okay. Now we're going to do the sugar and this pinch of salt. And I'm going to mix that up good before I put that cheese in there.
Somewhere one time I saw some mixing spoons, and it had like a pinch was one of the
Yes.
ingredients. A dash
Yes.
was one of the ingredients.
Yeah.
Pretty cute. Pretty cute.
Yeah, but you know what?
Just something else you have to find a place for.
That's true. That's very true. It's another gadget. Okay, now we're going to mix the cheese in. And I think I might have put a little bit more cheese in that yesterday. I don't know. But
Let's see, it calls for a cup.
yeah. In the directions, when I dug that cookbook back out where I got the recipe to double check something, I was looking, the woman, her comment was that she always doubles the recipe for the topping because she likes it so much.
Oh.
But I found that there was plenty. So I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to double that. Okay, Connie, if you'll
Apples in
the pan.
apples in the baking dish.
And if you had lots of time, you could just place those individually, but I don't do that. I don't usually have time.
That is a pan full.
That's a pan full. Now, what I did yesterday, I thought that pan was getting kind of full, and I didn't use all the apples. I had a couple left over. However, it really did cook down low, so you don't have to worry about it, your pan being this full. I mean, it's going to cook down, I promise you. Okay, that looks really good. That's such a beautiful color. I love that Granny Smith color. Okay, I just
sprinkle that over it?
Yeah, just sprinkle this over it, and I just be sure, and I try to get everything, all the apples covered. You're going to have some sticking up a little bit, but
We'll do our best.
we'll do our best to get this. I could put sideboards on this here when I go around the edge. But that's, as long as you've got it covered, you want all that good stuff on every bite you take.
Cheesy baked apples.
Yeah. And, if you like baked apples, there's so many different ways to fix baked apples. But I kind of like this because, you get all that flavor, and it's real simple. And I think it would be good to take, to a potluck or something. So, let me turn that around and so I can do that.
Yeah, I think I can imagine, well, doubling it, just...
Yeah, I don't think I would want to double it, but, you know, that's to each his own. Okay, we're going to pop this in the oven and wait for the good smell.
Yeah, oh, that's the good part about cooking. It makes everything smell so good. Okay. We've got our apples out of the oven, and we've discussed the guinea pig gets to decide whether maybe we should have peeled our apples or not.
Right.
And guinea pigs get to eat.
That's true. There, when I served that, it looked like the peel was a little, but it, you know, and if you want to peel them, go ahead and peel them. It's, you know, I've told you this before, a recipe is just a guideline for you to go by. Do your thing, and well, the verdict is
Not a problem.
the peel is not a problem. You know, your vitamins are right under the peel of your fruit and your potatoes and stuff. So really, it's a good idea if you can cook with the peeling on. You're getting all the vitamins that way.
Princess, this is the cheese.
That's the cheese.
It almost looks coconutty.
Yes, it does. And when I tasted a bite of that yesterday,
Good.
I thought, I know I didn't put coconut in that, but it tasted kind of like, it's the texture of coconut, but it's the cheese, and I thought it was pretty good.
Well, and the thing I like about it is it's different.
Yes, it is
It's
different.
not your same old, because like
Right.
every time you go to church or something like, or a potluck or whatever, it's the same dishes every time you go somewhere.
Yes.
It's the corn, it's the green
Yeah.
beans, it's whatever. Something different, and that usually
different.
catches somebody's eye. Plus, the taste, the flavor,
Yes.
it's different, and I think it'll make your other foods, you know, maybe taste a little different
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
recipe.
When I took this out of the oven, I did put a little bit more butter on it, and if you know, feel free to do that if you want to. You know, the butter makes it really good. But if you're watching your calories or your fat intake, you know, just kind of fix it accordingly.
I can't imagine. Well, I can to imagine doing 2 toppings because some people really thrive on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because like when I eat a cobbler or a pie, that's my favorite part is the crust.
Oh, me too. In fact, the fruit is just, it's just, if I
I'm a crust
just use
person.
the juice and have the crust absorb the juice,
Yes.
that's what I really like.
Right.
And I like that homemade crust.
Oh, well, I just like crust. The good thing about this recipe, most of the ingredients I already had at my house.
Yes.
About the only thing that I had to really go for was the apples.
Apples.
Because I already had some
Me too.
cheese, I already had the butter, I already had the salt, the sugar. I bought lemons, but I usually keep a lemon at the
Yeah.
house. So it's one of those things that, you know, it's not going to be that costly
No.
because you already have most of the ingredients
Right.
already in your kitchen.
But most of this stuff is just your staples that you
Right.
find in your cupboard every day.
Right.
So the only thing is, like I said, might be the apples.
Right.
But it's real simple to fix. It's not complicated at all. If you saw me fake it, it's real simple.
Remember our new email address if you are interested in this recipe. Send an email to recipes@yhctv.com and request this recipe for cheesy baked apples, and we'll get that right out to you. Or if you don't have an email address and you want to just send a self-addressed stamped envelope, send that to What's Cooking at Our House, P.O. Box 712, Dexter, Missouri, 63841. And Miss Dottie, we got right back into the...
Shoot, yeah, we are professional.
We did not forget how to cook.
No, we
even
didn't
though
forget
we
how to
haven't been
cook.
together for a while. Thank you for letting us come to your house.
It's my pleasure.
I know you enjoy letting us make it smell so good.
Yes.
But anyway, join us next time for What's Cooking at Our House. I'm Connie Hampton.
And I'm Dottie Phelps. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.